Hey guys, so no fancy editing, no scripting. It's just going to be me talking to the camera and showing you an update and showing you footage. Because for the past 2 weeks, I've been working on my house and shooting video every single day and trying to create this masterpiece of a video. But after these 2 weeks, what have you seen? Absolutely nothing. I haven't come out with anything. So I decided it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just gonna give the update. The goal is just to get a video out, because a video out every single day is better than having a masterpiece that never comes out. So this past 2 weeks I've actually worked every single day, and I wanted it to make a goal of not making excuses after watching Jocko. If you haven't seen this guy, watch my previous video, and he's this hardcore Navy SEAL that wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, crushes life, gives no excuses, and is just this beast. And he has this podcast, so I've been listening to him recently, and it's just so motivating. It's just so true. You know, you can give yourself excuses for your entire life. And then when it passes by, you're like, oh crap, that's it. So that's what I've been doing for the past 1.5 years. I said I was going to commit to this crazy thing and ripped out all the drywall, did the easy thing. And then when the hard stuff came, when I needed to be consistent to make this renovation dream come true, I failed. I failed every single day for 1.5 years. And now when I look back, this 1.5 years, it has amounted to nothing. So that is a huge regret of mine. But 1.5 years, that's a lesson learned. You know, this will never happen again in my life. If you think about it, if you've wasted 1.5 years or 2 years and you live to be 100, that's a lot of time. Most likely, like I don't plan on living to 100, so it would be even more time if I only lived to 80, if I wasted that 2 years doing nothing. And the scary thing is, if I waste those 2 years, I can easily waste another 5 years, another 10 years. And then what? And then what will happen? It will be too late to even try to fix anything at that point. It would be too late to revert. You know, if you only have one life, 1 year left, and you regret 99 years, like, I don't want to be at that state. So out of fear of ever reaching that goal, I am going to dedicate myself to doing something every single day. I want to put effort into something that will physically, have some benefit. I guess it doesn't have to be physical, but it has to amount to something. I have to be adding on to something every single day, and not just sitting there and, watching videos. It will amount to nothing. So that's the reason, and that's the drive. And so far, it's carried me really far. It's changed a lot of aspects of my life. So like I said before, I'm officially committing to working on my house every single day. And a video will come out every single day. It might be crappy. It might not have sound. But I will have a video out every single day. And I want it to be a signal. Whatever you have in your life that you've been holding off, don't wait another day. Do it every single day consistently. And let's do it together, because I will be doing this every single day. So just from this past 2 weeks of hitting that barrier of not wanting to do it, and then breaking that barrier, of knowing that the barrier is where the fight is. That's where the real battle is. Is it really a win if you do it when you feel like you want to do it? That's not a win. It wasn't a battle in the first place. So I realized that that's where the battle is. So these past 2 weeks, every single day I felt that. I realized that that's where I need to be strong. And I did that. And the amazing thing is that you end up doing a lot more than you thought you could. Even when I got myself to work, and when I was in the flow state, I would hit many barriers. I would see a huge block of wood that I have to move, and I said, that seems like a job for another day. After a while, I started to realize and recognize the many barriers, and I would push through every single time. The amazing thing is, just after one day of pushing through those barriers, I was so amazed at how much work can be done that I wondered how much can be done if I commit like this for a week or even a month. So here I am, tired as crap, but let's get this work done. There's no excuses. So one thing I want to leave everyone with is the quote that sparked everything. Is the excuse of being tired is not valid, because when are you not going to be tired? And that changed everything for me, because every single day that would be my excuse. But when am I not going to be tired? Might as well do something. So let's get to it. So what you just saw me do was I assembled a cart with wheels to put the wood on so that I could move it around as needed. And some of you are wondering why I'm tearing out this new looking hardwood. It's because I removed a couple of walls, so now there's gaps between the hardwood, and it would require me to take out a good portion of it anyways to repair it. There's also really old tile in the entrance and in the kitchen that needs to be torn out. So I decided just to take everything out and put in some new hardwood so that it's just one continuous floor. It's especially nice for a small place to make the space look bigger. And I'm also going to put in some engineered hardwood so that it's waterproof. So in the beginning of the video, you probably saw me struggling with the pry bar. And then at a certain point, I was like, wait, I can just get this demo bar. And it made my life so much easier. It was still hard, but it's much easier. So if I had a space that was any bigger than this, my entire place is 800 square feet. So what I'm working with here is probably like 400 square feet. Removing this was a pain. So I would definitely probably hire someone to do this part, or just not remove it if you can. The hard part was not only ripping this thing out, but it leaves behind the staples that you need to pry out. And my hammer was perfectly sized to fit inside the staple at an angle. So I needed to put it perfectly in and then yank it out. So that was pretty annoying. But besides that, it's pretty brainless. You just yank and, pull. That's it. So here you get a view of the living room side with all the hardwood floor out. And now this is where the hard part is, which is ripping out the staples one by one. So that was annoying, as I said before, but we're just complaining at this point. And here, this is the old tile that I was talking about that I had to rip out. I just ripped out a portion because it's still snowing here and I don't want the water to soak through the subfloor for now. So I just removed the area that I needed because you will see me building the framing for the stairs next. And also, without the demo bar, this part would have been extremely hard. So, good investment here. It was only $20. Super worth. So here it is probably pretty hard to see. Well, I'm also off camera, but I'm taking out the staples that's left over from the hardwood. Let's see. Yeah. So you can see. Yep. So I have to tilt it in order to get it through and then pull it out. The most satisfying part of this was sweeping up all the staples after it was done. So, little reward there. I don't know if you can call that a reward, but you gotta find joy in the things you do. Alright, so next I took a delivery of lumber from a local lumber supply company. It's actually much cheaper than going to Home Depot, and the delivery fee is $30. So for me to rent a U-Haul for a couple of hours is already $50 plus. So this was super worth it. Delivered to my front door, and the quality is much better than Home Depot. The ones that I got at Home Depot were probably twice the price, and they were the ones that I was choosing from were all bent and crooked. These were perfect, so would order again, and definitely look for a local lumber supply company. So you're probably wondering, what is the lumber for? Well, not really. You're probably wondering why I'm cutting wood inside my house and if that causes a lot of dust. Well, yes, it does cause a lot of dust, and I try to minimize it as much as possible by attaching the vacuum directly to the the dust collection spout of the saw. But it's snowing outside and it's cold and a lot of excuses, but it just made more sense to be inside. And it's just the cost. So I got the lumber for framing the stairs. Let me try to explain this in one go, but it's going to be tough. But do you see the stair where it's lower, the lowest part of the stair? That's the support for the stair. And then the side of the stair is a foot higher almost. So I need to make those even so that I can attach the drywall onto them. And I also want to make the handrails, the place to put handrails. So this I thought was going to be easy, but it was very hard to get the lowest part of the stair, the support, even with the new drywall support that I'm building that you'll see later. So you actually won't see this version complete because I actually found a better way halfway through. I put it all up, so it was like 2 days of wasted work, but might as well get it done right. This is the correct version that I'm building. I'm just building a long support that extends from the wall all the way out to the same level as the new handrail, so that when the drywall goes up, it can go on flat. And here I am building the new supports and making sure that they're level with the middle support, the stair support. This is probably not clear at all. I do not know how to describe myself. Here, after making sure that the two new drywall supports are ready and level, I attach perpendicular pieces of wood to connect them. I do not know how to technically say this. This sounds so bad, but we're trying to get a video out and you see what I'm doing and you understand what I'm doing, hopefully. I'm using some clamps to hold the new handrail support in place while I screw it in. And the code requires the handrail to be able to support 200 pounds. So I'm just trying to stress test it. I don't know how. I'm not 200 pounds, but I figured if I just walk on it, it might be good enough. Because who in the right mind will walk on this thing? And it will be impossible in the future, actually. When I add in the thing that I want to add, it will be a surprise. And here is the finished product. My neighbor Bob came to ask if I wanted to get dinner, but I just started here on this day, so I had to decline, which was kind of sad because I really wanted to go, but we have to get this work done. Don't worry, I ate with him a couple days before. So I continued to work on removing these staples, except this time I developed a new technique. I slide the hammer back. Well, I slide the hammer on the floor back as hard as possible, and then it will eventually catch a staple. So I don't have to look for the staple anymore. And at the same time, it stands the staple up, which gives me more space, and it's easier to hook the staple to pull it out. And then after all the staples removed, I just used the demo bar to get rid of these weird roofing tile piece looking things. I still don't know what they're called. If you know what they're called, please tell me. And I hope it's not like something expensive or crazy that I wasn't supposed to remove. This is the only thing I really couldn't find what it was. But we will add in some really good underlayment. This is still the same day, as you can judge by the same clothes. Well, you can't really judge that way because sometimes I do wear the same clothes. I set aside just for this, okay? It's not disgusting. And if you see me at work wearing the same thing, it's after I went to work and then I use this, and I never go back to work with the same ones. Okay, don't worry. I'm hygienic. I don't even know if that's the right word, but you get the idea. Okay, I would never harm my fellow coworkers. I love you guys. All right, so I vividly remember right here hitting a barrier. This is the block of wood that I'm talking about. So all this wood, the hardwood, the studs, the shoes, the paint, all that is standing on the tile that I have to remove, which requires me to move all this to under the stairs, which I knew I would have to move again sometime later. So I was like, I don't really want to do it. But then I broke through this, and we'll see what happens. So breaking the barrier here. Let's do it, guys. We're gonna do this every day. And here was where I had the experience of once you hit the barrier and you exceed it, you'll be amazed because you just hit another flow state and you just keep going. And you just keep hitting the barrier, you just keep going until you burn out. But don't burn out because that's a lie. I'm just kidding. Of course, all of this requires you to have a good sleep schedule. It's 1 o'clock right now, but I want to get this video out, and we will adjust all of our schedules and make sure that we can get some adequate sleep so we don't burn out as well. Today was a special case because my neighbor actually knocked on my door and was like, oh, actually we can see light from your house. So I had to patch that up really fast. I'll explain in another video, but for this video, I think it's good enough for today. The flooring's taken out, the tile's been taken out. We built the framing for the stairs. We moved the washer and dryer so that we can reach the electrical. I will give more updates in a video tomorrow. Thank you very much, and have a good night or morning. This is, let's do a countdown. So Right now it's 1 a.m. So there's still 345 days left of this year. We'll see what we can get done in this year. So let's get it. Also, if you made it to the very end of this video, thank you very much, and I'm looking for feedback. So let me know what you think. Thank you very much. Goodbye for real.